we have to understand we are always morphing into God's prophetic purpose. And so when I take an overview, particularly of the church in Europe and in Romania, I can see there is huge resistance to change, but change is going to come anyway. And so when I began to re-look at the church, of course over the last 30 or 40 years, people have begun to understand that the church is not just a building. The church is a body. The church is people. The church for 300 years after the apostles didn't own a single property. It was always constituted of communities of people with living, vibrant faith. Some years ago, I read a book by a lady called Phyllis Tickle, The Emergent Church, and the proposition of her book is that something dramatically happens in the church every 500 years, and the future looks nothing like the past. And so we go back 500 years to the Reformation, which we only celebrated last year, and we look at that and we say, from that moment forward, the future of the church looked nothing like the past. And then you go back another 500 years with the great schism in the church, where the East and the West now have the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church. And after that, great difficulty and challenge, the church looked different again. And you go back another 500 years, Gregory the Great and the monastic movement, and the future looked nothing like the past. And you have then Jesus, the great reformer, and the future looked nothing like the past. You go back another 500 years and you have the Babylonian captivity, and the future looked nothing like the past. And then you go back to Judges, where the governance of Israel moved from judges to kings, and so on and so forth. And so the point I'm making is this: something seems to dramatically happen every 500 years. It's not to the dot, it's not to the date, it's not to the hour. We're in that season. Oftentimes there can be a 50 or 60 year transition between one generation going into another generation, or one era going into another era. There's processes that take place, so it's not a cut off and then everything changes. And I'm sensing right now there is huge change taking place.